Hello there, my friend. I am so glad you decided to ride with me today. We've got a super fun ride. I'm going to take you on a tour of the canyons of Utah. Woo woo. So jump on, make sure your tires are pumped up, make sure you've got plenty of water and some good riding shoes, bike shorts, padded shorts if you have them, all the things, and we'll head out on the road. We're starting easy like we always do. About 80 RPMs, light resistance on the wheel. See if we can get watches connected. So as we take this tour of my beautiful valley, if you live here, this will be familiar to you. If you don't, I'm going to do my best to give you a good description. So I live in Salt Lake City, Utah, and it's kind of a bowl. We have big, beautiful Wasatch Rocky Mountains to the east. And in the west, we have the Ochre Mountains. So we're kind of surrounded by mountains. And it has always felt to me like really safe here in this little protected bowl. So what that means though is we have lots of canyons, lots of places to ride where our front tire is higher than our back tire. So today we're riding 5 canyons. We're starting with, in our valley, the most north canyon, and then we'll progressively go south. So I'll do my best to give you a visual along the way of what we're seeing and experiencing. So all 5 of these hills start more moderate and end up more hard. And we'll keep it that way through the whole ride until we get to the very end, and then we will take off the lid and go crazy to breathless. So a whole hour of essentially moderate to hard work climbing, and then blow it up. Just to give you a heads up, the 4th hill is the longest. That will be our hardest. Move your hips to the back of the saddle. Lift up a little so that you're light in the saddle. And breathe. Breathe. So normally, if we were climbing for realsies, we would start in the saddle, we'd finish out of the saddle. But today I'm going to reverse that just because we're not really outside. And I think that's how I can make it harder at the top of the hill on these bikes. Okay? So we'll do the first part of our hill seated. Standing, second part seated. All right, take some deep breaths, my friends. Breathe deeply in through your nose. Let yourself sigh out loud. And do that again. Deep breath in. And then, kind of like, whew, I made it here. I made it here. In 55 minutes, I'll be on my way, but I made it here. All right, if you have a stage timer on your bike, I'd like you to start that now. Our first hill is just over 8 minutes. We're slowing way down to 60 RPMs. Once again, I better give you a disclaimer. If at any point this video goes mute, it's because I had to pull that section out for copyright infringements. Let's stand up. Once again, as a reminder, I don't monetize this site. These videos are free. So I have been using popular music, and every once in a while there's a song that I don't know until it's over that it's copyright protected. And so YouTube just gives me the option to mute out that segment. So if my sound goes out, just hang on. Just ride through, follow me visually. I'll put in the notes what the song was, and you could pull that up on your phone if you like. But it's usually a short song, and then we're back. There's my disclaimer. Shift your body back just enough to feel a feather light tap on the saddle. Just the lightest tap of the saddle. Core strong, chest lifted, deep breaths. Light hands, super helpful to not make your hands go to sleep while you're riding. That's not fun. All right, let's take a few, what I would call bright breaths. So we're gonna breathe in, but it's gonna feel a little bit more like a sniff to your brain. Ready? Take a deep breath in, and then a sigh as you exhale. Do that again. 5 of those. All right, those bright breaths with just kind of shooting breath intentionally to your brain, kind of give you a little pick-me-up. They're like a little sip of caffeine. And anytime during this ride when you feel yourself dragging, try some bright breaths. Oxygen to the brain. Very helpful. How is your body feeling right now? From hands to wrists, elbows, shoulders, neck, head, face, chest, heart, lungs, core, hips, glutes, legs, knees, ankles and feet. A little quick tour through the body. How are things today? How's your body? Little body scan. Have a seat, and that should have automatically made the hill harder. If not, add a little bit of resistance. We're moving up to 70 RPMs. So find that pace first, and then add resistance if you need it. We're here for 4 minutes. Anytime you need it. Now you've got that bright breath. Just a quick jolt of energy. As you do that little body tour, are there any areas of pain or injury? And if so, is that new? Or is it chronic? Is it old? An old friend? I have a friend who calls one of her knees, she's learned, instead of calling it a bad knee, her learning knee, her teacher. So do you have any teachers in your body today? All right, you should sound like me now. This should feel like hard effort. 8. On a scale of 1 to 10. I'd like you to be aware of a little bit of strength in your upper back. You could even come up and do this action that I'm doing of squeezing those shoulder blades together. And then try to keep that while you come back to riding posture. A little more strength in the upper back, a little more space in the front. So here we go, in through the nose, out through the mouth, and it's that rhythmic 4 counts in, 4 counts out that stays with us through the whole ride. This first hill, Emigration Canyon, a beautiful windy canyon near the University of Utah, near downtown. We go past our zoo, the Hogle Zoo. We go past the statue that Brigham Young and the Mormon pioneers, the spot where they first saw this valley. This is the place. Monument. And my favorite landmark of Emigration Canyon is an old and amazing restaurant called Ruth's Diner. So if you ever come here, you have to stop at Ruth's Diner for her homemade biscuits, raspberry jam, a really great breakfast place, but also great for lunch. Never been there for dinner. Probably good for that too, but sometimes they have live music, mimosas, a really, really cool little place, great patio. Ruth's Diner, Emigration Canyon. All right, a little bit more resistance. So I guess the good news, bad news is, well, kind of bad news. We don't get to go downhill. We're just gonna climb these 5 canyons. So we have to like teleport ourselves to the base of the next canyon. Sorry, not sorry. Core engaged. Find those points of pain in your body and just breathe. Soften around that. Slowing down to 60. Resistance comes on. Let's stand up. Canyon number 2. This is in no way real life. Parleys Canyon. That's the canyon that connects, it's I-80. It connects Salt Lake City to Park City. You'd be crazy to ride it because it's all freeway. But just for fun, imagine they just gave us an opportunity, took all the traffic off the road and let us go up Parleys Canyon. Windy ascent, just winds and winds and winds. It's not the steepest, but it's how we get to Park City. And once we get there, lots and lots of riding. We can go anywhere we want. We can swap out for our mountain bikes and hit some trails at the ski resorts. That's fun. Ball of your foot on the pedal, that's where your strength is. Hips barely touch that saddle. Feather like a feather, not a tap, just a barely a touch, so you know that your hips are back there. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Come to the saddle, and it gets harder because we're speeding it up a little bit. 70. So this is actually, again, not real life, but our shortest hill for this ride. So we are almost to the summit, Parleys summit. And you can pretend that this is the point in the road where all of those semis slow way down. They're over in the right lane, and we get to pass them. Make this challenging, friends. Hard effort. Upper body is relaxed. Let's shift attention back to breath. Bright breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Try to bring it to 4 counts. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. In 4, out 4. Steady breath is so helpful, not only to our physiology, but to our psychology. We can get through anything if we just pay attention to our breath. We've got about 1 more minute. Can you wiggle back just a little bit further to where you find some power in your legs? Power that's coming from glutes, hips. You guys, make this hard. Do not take the easy way out. Make this hard effort, so that when it's time to stand up, you're happy to stand up, because you need a little body weight over these pedals. Breathe in, breathe out. Continue just visualizing that bright breath. Great job on Parleys Canyon, everybody. Let's set that stage timer again. Mountain number 3, hill number 3, canyon number 3. We're slowing down again, 60 RPMs. We're adding a little bit of resistance. Heading over to Millcreek Canyon. This is my hood. If I head east from my house, I can be there in very short time, 20 minutes or so. I could be right here in Millcreek Canyon. Awesome. So Millcreek Canyon has odd days and even days. And every other day you can take puppy dogs up there. So fun. Let's come up. Let's walk with a little bit of spring in our step. Another windy canyon that has a ton of great hikes. Like all the way up this canyon, there's a gate where cars can't go anymore, and it's just such a great canyon. It's really people and puppy friendly. Beautiful. Some of the trails can take you to overlooks of the valley. So if you're visiting Salt Lake City and you just have a day and you have some time, I would suggest head to Millcreek Canyon, put on your hiking shoes, and get up where you can get a view. Awesome. There's a place called the living room where there are stones laid out kind of like sofas and chairs where you can just sit and watch the sunset across the valley. Awesome. There is a trail called Dog Lake. It's really fun for hiking and mountain biking. The little mountain lake at the top where the puppies can swim. So it's not quite hard work yet. This should feel a little bit more doable. Hips are tapping the saddle. Find that rhythm of breath once again. So I'll tell you a story about hiking in Millcreek Canyon many, many years ago. So I was just dating my husband. So that was, gosh, almost 30 years ago. And we had a yellow lab puppy named Louie. So cute. He ended up being our ring bearer at our wedding. Louie was, I think, 5 months old. He was not a tiny puppy, but not a big dog. And we were walking along, and I had him off leash, which was supposed to have him on leash. And a cyclist came flying down the canyon and around a curve and hit my Louie broadside. Literally hit my dog broadside. The cyclist flew off his bike, tumbled down a little embankment. His bike crashed. And of course I ran to Louie, and I was so not nice to that cyclist. So not nice. No kindness at all. Have a seat. So my then boyfriend, now husband, was really great and said, you might want to just see if he's okay before you yell at him. 70 RPMs. So, kindness. Take some of those bright breaths. Close your eyes. We're here for just over 2 minutes. So how hard can you make this? Going to the top of Millcreek. Be sure to watch out for puppy dogs. So how about if we ride with kindness? As you take these deep breaths and you listen to the voice in your head, can you just take a moment to ride with kindness? What does that feel like and sound like to you? Maybe you can start with kind thoughts for yourself or to yourself. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And for extra credit and the advanced practice, can you think kind thoughts to someone who has caused harm to you or another? Because chances are they're hurting too. Like that biker, he was okay. He got up and shook it off. His bike was not okay, which was not okay because it was an expensive bike. But he never yelled back at me about not having my dog on a leash. Kindness, he certainly could have and probably should have. So maybe a moment of kindness towards someone who has caused harm because they're probably hurting too. Bright breath. We are headed to Big Cottonwood Canyon, our longest section. So we slow again to 60 RPMs. We add our resistance back on. Let's get out of the saddle. Let's work side to side. Maybe just lightweight, one hand and then the other. Bright breaths and kindness. So Big Cottonwood Canyon, it's long, it is hard, and it is freaking beautiful. I'm not sure if I can have a favorite, but as far as beautiful, to me, this one is just majestic. Lots of just like narrow places with huge rock walls. Incredible. I live in the middle of such incredible beauty. Ball of the foot on the pedal, toes wiggling inside of our shoes. Relax your shoulders, relax your neck, relax your face. We haven't quite gotten to hard effort yet. We're on our way there. So do me a favor, as we get ready to come to the saddle, try to not drop your resistance. Just try. See if you can come up to 75 RPMs and resist the temptation to drop the gear. Only drop it if you need to because you're tilting over into breathless. Okay? Got it? Got it. Now we have just crossed the 30-minute mark of this 1 hour ride. We are 1/2 way there. And I'm sure you're smart enough to do the math. So what you know is, yes, we are right here in this saddle for about 13 minutes. I know, told you, Mountain 4, Canyon 4, hardest and longest. So that's a minute into this. Your body should have just adjusted to that resistance and this cadence. If not, adjust what you need to. But that's just a little trick to keep you in the hard zone. We have a natural default. We kind of like moderate. We like that fun aerobic exercise zone. That's been the case over time for most of the people I've worked with. No one comes to do easy because why bother? And no one likes breathless. And hard is hard, but I'll stay in moderate. I'll stay at a 7. That's doable, that's kind of fun. But we need to get out of that comfort zone and go into the hard zone on this. I know. I'm just doing my job, man. So what do we find up Big Cottonwood Canyon? Well, 2 really great ski resorts. Solitude and Brighton. Speaking of bright, take some bright breaths. In 4, out 4. I'll tell you another story because we have time, right? Before kids, BK, skiing was my favorite thing. Loved skiing. I had season passes. I loved skiing mostly at Alta, which we'll see in our next canyon. You know why? Because it was skiers only, no snowboarders. Sorry, boarders. 2 different sports. Skiers and snowboarders carve up the hill differently. The movement, the path is different for a snowboarder and a skier. And I just like being where I could predict what people were doing around me. There wasn't a lot of people cutting across the hill. I know, I'm a big baby, I know. So here's the story. When each of my kids were born, I taught them to ski. And we would go to Alta, there's a rope tow. And it was so much work to hold onto that rope tow with a little one in between my skis, go to the top and then ski down with them. That's how all of my boys learned to ski, was between my skis in like a pizza shape. And then when they got the feel, we put them on a little harness and then we just pushed them down the hill and they did great. All 3 of them. But it didn't take long before the oldest, who was a little skater boy, wanted to snowboard. And I'm a supportive mom. I support anything that's physical activity. So we got him aboard, got him a couple lessons, I first took him to Snowbird, which is more of a skier's resort, but they did allow boarders then. And he got good really fast. And then he wanted to go to dun 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 Brighton. Why? Because Brighton has a park, which means they have half pipe and rails and all the things that little skater boys and girls love to play on. So we started going to Brighton, and I just didn't love skiing at Brighton. My boys love boarding there. So a couple of times I tried dropping them off at Brighton and going over another canyon to Alta. That's way too much work. So then I just started putting them on the bus, and I essentially quit skiing. I know, really pathetic, right? We're going at 75 RPMs. This is hard effort, friends. Don't let my stories distract you. Hard effort. Or let my stories distract you. So at the time of this ride, it is late October, and it just snowed yesterday. And every time we get to this point of the year, I think I really need to ski again, because I've started to hate winter. And when I skied, I really look forward to winter. I got to get back to it. I got to bite the bullet, buy the new equipment, pay the freaking $200 day pass. So expensive now. I love it. So we'll see. Friends, we are halfway there, which means we've just passed Solitude. Solitude is an amazing ski resort. It's huge. And there are so many different levels of terrain there. Great lodges. Of course, that's important. All right, let's do this. Close your eyes. Will you do another little body scan? Start at your hands, make your way through your body to your feet. I'll be quiet and let you do this. I want you to just check in. What are you feeling in your body? As you go through your body, bright breath. Send that bright breath to a new body part. We're going a little bit faster here. It's still hard effort. We're moving up to 80 RPMs, folks. We got about 5 minutes to go. Body scan. Try to keep that resistance on. Bright breath. When you have gone through your whole body, let's practice bright, full body breathing. So you're gonna breathe in through your nose in that way that feels like you're just sniffing in as much as you can, and the breath fills your whole body. And then a big sigh. Maybe it's longer than 4 counts to just take that full, deep, slow breath. Come back in your mind to kindness. While you're working hard, let your inner coach encourage you. Kindness, support, encouragement. We've got just under 3 minutes before we get to stand up and finish our final canyon. With a couple minutes left in Big Cottonwood Canyon, we are almost to Brighton. We've just passed Silver Lake. This canyon ends in a roundabout at Brighton. You end up in a big parking lot. We can stop for a warm beverage if you like, or cold beverage, your choice. But we do have one more canyon. So as we finish this long, hard ride, breath, body, positive dialogue going on here. I want you to just think about the word wisdom. Wisdom, this wisdom within you, your wise self, your wise teacher, kind of the witness, the one that's watching, observing all of this happening. Just take a moment to step into that. In yoga, we call it your big self. And just notice, for me, there's always a little shift when I get out of little self thinking. Little self, like ego, like, I can't, it's hard, little self. Big self, that's the encouraging one. That's the wise one, and we want to listen to. Oh, we're almost there, friends. So close. Hello, Brighton. I really don't hate you. You really are beautiful. Slowing down, 60 RPMs. Let's try to keep that resistance on. Take a quick stretch break, grab some water. All right, let's head on over. Little Cottonwood Canyon. Let's stand. I guess we're closer to 70 RPMs. That's fun. Moderate intensity, not too hard. All right, blissful deep breaths, bright breaths for your whole body. In 4, out 4. Do that body scan. Is there anywhere in your body that's really uncomfortable? Not to be confused with working. Talking about places of pain, maybe tingling or numbness. That sometimes happens in our fingers and toes when we're not really positioned in the best way. We can shift around a little bit, find more comfort. We've got about 1 more minute out of the saddle, and then a short set in the saddle, about 3 minutes, and then we are gonna take off the lid, as promised. So, Little Cottonwood, Snowbird, and Alta. Little Cottonwood is really beautiful too. It's a little more wide open than big. Windy, gorgeous. Snowbird is a great place to ski, but it's also a really cool summer resort. They hold Oktoberfest there. Great hiking. My favorite hike is to the top of the tram. It takes me about an hour, and then I ride the tram down. So fun. Let's do it. Let's go to Alta. Have a seat. We've got about 3 minutes, just over, in the saddle. Give me good resistance. Loosen everything up. Fingers and toes, knees, shoulders. The core stays strong, stable, supportive. Pelvic floor stays light. Folks, challenge yourself with hard effort. Alta, my favorite ski resort. They used to be just rustic, where the old people skied. When I was skiing, it would be common to see somebody on wooden skis. Oh, so beautiful up there. And they've really like grown in their infrastructure and their lifts, but there's still a feel of kind of old town that I really, really love. Alta is a great ski resort, but it's also really beautiful in the summer. Great place to hike and see wildflowers. So close your eyes. Feel your body, your bright breath, that kind voice, that encouraging voice, that coach that wants the best for you in your head And listen to that coach as they encourage you to just add more resistance, because they know you can. Let your big self turn the knob. Yes, it's hard, and you can do hard things. And we are very close to finishing this ride. Just for fun, can you make this a little harder than hard? Big self, yes. Little self, no. Always listen to big self. I'm going to give you another word, and that word is joy. Not to be confused with happiness, which is temporary, but joy. This inner, abiding feeling of contentment, pleasure, openness, joy. Take some resistance off for just a bit. We have made it to our last song. So as promised, we are going threshold, which is the top of the hard zone, and then over the top of that. So when you're ready, establish a cadence that feels challenging to you. I think I'm going to go slow and ride with the beat of the music. You can go faster. When you find your cadence, you're going to add resistance till you find hard efforts. Let's get used to hard. This is where we've been 5 times already. We need to know where this is in order to find thresholds. So sit tall. Makes us better, harder, faster, stronger. Okay, so we've got that. Now keep your resistance and go just a little bit faster. Not to where you go breathless. This is not a race or a sprint just yet. Wait for it. Let's ride this threshold. So this is very uncomfortable. Hard is uncomfortable. This is very uncomfortable, but it's not breathless, right? You with me on this? Okay. All right, in 15 seconds, we get to do this thing. We get to sprint for 1 minute, breathless zone, and then we'll come back to here. We'll go breathless, back to threshold, and finish. Got it? Ready? All you have to do is race. Race. Don't change your resistance, don't change your positioning, just race me. Just race me. Breathless is the very top of the intensity scale, and it's almost impossible, right? It feels that way. You got it. We've got it. Whew. I think 30 seconds to go. Come on. Get those legs in gear. Nothing wrong. Let's finding out what you're made of. Let the coach take over. That wise voice tell you, you can do this. 10 seconds. Oh, goodness. Woo. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now the hard part. Come back to 60 RPMs without dropping resistance. I know it still feels like breathless, but I promise you, you're coming back down to thresholds. Your body will adjust. Bright breath. Oh. We did it, didn't we? Lower resistance all the way. We finally get to go downhill. Wiggle your toes inside of your shoes and wiggle your fingers on the handlebars. Feel your body in recovery.
Have you ever thrown a fistful of glitter in the air?
Start to notice your breath coming back to a manageable pace where you're in control and you can deepen your breath.
It's only half past the point of no return, the tip of the iceberg, the sun before the burn.
Let that kind, wise voice congratulate you. You know, that voice always is me in your ear. But I want it to be you, because I'm only here with you for a short time. And I want you to be listening to that voice that is in you for the rest of the day. That kind voice, that wise voice, that true voice that knows that what you just did was out of comfort zone and it took a lot of effort. I don't know where you came from, what your day was like before this, but your big self knows. Listen to that. Let's sit tall. Let's slow our legs a bit and let's roll our shoulders.
Have you ever invited a stranger to come in?
Oh, that feels good. Reach back, grab your hands or the saddle or a towel. Breathe deep across the front of your body. Your arms have been forward during this whole ride and basically your whole life. So whenever you think about it, get them behind you. Hold your arms behind you and just stretch the front of your shoulders and your chest. For the record, I am very proud of you and grateful for you. I love that you're my riding companion. Let's put one hand on the handlebar, grab the ankle of the foot and pull it back. And just sit tall. Just feel that large muscle that comes from about here to here. It's a really big muscle. Just push your hips slightly forward and stretch. And then let's switch.
Have you ever wished for an endless night?
Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely.
Lassoed the moon and the stars and pulled that rope tight.
So good.
Have you ever
Come off of our bikes. We'll find our hamstrings. So hands to your thighs first. Slide your hands to your shins and then just press your hands into your shins. Press your shins into your hands and lengthen through the crown of your head. Take deep breaths here. And then come on up. Let's reach the arms overhead. Give yourself a great big hand, friends. Thanks for riding 5 canyons with me. I hope to see you again very, very soon. Remember to check the link on my YouTube page and consider supporting me on Patreon for $5 a month. All of these videos will always remain free, but that $5 a month really helps me to continue creating free content and make it available for those who can't afford $5 a month. So think about supporting me that way. Otherwise, continue your free videos. And I love you and I'm grateful for you, and I'll see you again. Hi, friends. Just want to say thank you so much for joining me here for these workouts. If you like what you find here, make sure to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and I love when you leave comments. Let's keep working out together. We will make our world and the world a better place.